Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome, everyone. We are going to talk about soul contracts. So we all have soul contracts, and they're not always the same, right? Your soul contract is based on your past lives. It's based on the lessons needed to know in this world. It's also based on who you're connected with as well. You know, maybe you made an agreement to be a soul partner to someone else, to help someone else with a lesson. So therefore, we have a soul contract with another. So what happens is, the soul contract is a binding agreement, okay? So it's a binding agreement on a soul level. And usually it involves another person. So a soul contract would be either you have a contract for a relationship. Perhaps you have a soul contract for something you're supposed to accomplish in this physical experience that you're having. So maybe it's to bring light to others or to bring awareness to others. That actually could be a soul contract, okay? So it's a little different than life purpose, but your soul contracts are the agreements you made. So what agreements did we make, and what agreements did we make at various points in our life, in the physical experience? And again, you could have made those soul contracts based on a past life. You could have made them based on when you were back in the spirit realm. Base it really around anything. So you will know a soul contract because you can't just kind of walk away from it. That's the hardest part about a soul contract, okay? Is that, you think you could just walk away and dust it off, but it will nudge at you. It will be with you. Let's say it's with a person. You will can keep thinking about the person, or the person will keep coming back into your life, right? We've all had that, right? Where, or you shouldn't even see them, yet you randomly run into them. So it will come up over and over, even if, let's say, we have a couple-year gap and then they come back in. So these contracts are there to help facilitate our lessons, okay? So the other thing too is that once you fulfill a soul contract, once it's fulfilled, you can let it go. Now, there are times when people will hang on to it too long, right? Because you think you're supposed to stay in it. The ego, the consciousness keeps you anchored in. But on a soul level, you're done. And you'll find that how many times, again, if we go back to a relationship, but what happens is a soul contract is our agreement. So it's an agreement we make. And the agreement always has a lesson in it, okay? So whether that's lesson for boundaries, a lesson to help someone find their own path, a lesson to help you find your path, a lesson to release, or a lesson to embrace. Perhaps it's a lesson to surrender. Hello. So the lessons come in. And it really is a growth. When you come into the physical experience, you're here to grow. You're here to learn. You're here to grow. You can't just coast it. If you coast it, guess what happens? You got to do it over. You're going to end up doing the same things over and over and over. How many times do you say to yourself, my gosh, I make the same mistakes over and over? Or the same thing keeps happening to me. Why do I keep pulling in the same type of person? Why do I keep finding this XYZ over and over and over? It's because you're not learning the soul lesson. The soul contract isn't fulfilled around it. So once we fulfill it, it's released, okay? Now, the thing too is, you're not just one and done. Right? It's not like you get these lessons, you're done, and then, woo, we're all done with it. You actually get one lesson, and then maybe a couple years down the road, you kind of have that soul growth, right? Because we're supposed to have this soul development, this soul growth, this, tapping into that higher self. So as you elevate, as your vibration elevates, well, guess what happens? A new lock, stock, and barrel of soul contracts come in. right? New people come in, new opportunities, new experiences, and new soul contracts. So here's the other thing. You wanted to be there when a loved one was passing away, yet you didn't make it in time, or you weren't there, or vice versa, you were there, or you made it last minute, or whatever the case is, right? Now, the thing is, if you were not there at their passing, it's because you weren't meant to be there, right? There was no soul contract to be there. So, and for whatever reasons, sometimes people, on a soul level, they want to pass alone, or they just may not want you there because they might want you to remember certain memories, or whatever the case is, right? So the important part is to just kind of surrender to that and understand it. So, all right, so how do we know when we found the right soulmate? Well, I got some bad news for you. There's more than one soulmate. All right, you don't just get one soulmate. We actually get a lot of soulmates. If you have a best friend that's been your best friend for a long time, that's a soulmate. If you've had a partner and you were together 5, 10 years, actually you could be with someone. I was with someone 3 months one time. Soulmate for sure, okay? So how do you know if it's a soulmate? A soulmate will be, you feel like you've already known them. You meet them for the first time, yet it doesn't feel like it's the first time. You met them somewhere else. And there's almost this remembrance about it. Okay, so that's one. 2, you know them on a soul level. All right? You know them on a soul level. You know what the exterior is doing, what front are they putting on, but then you know what's behind the scenes, right? That's a soulmate. And a soulmate will change your life forever. After meeting that person, you will never be the same, ever. It's a forever change. Sometimes that's always, it really is for the best because we learn and we grow. That doesn't mean it's not painful, because sometimes it can be really painful. That doesn't mean it's not a soulmate just because it's painful, okay? So that's a soulmate. Now, a little bit about that question, though. I like to think personally of our twin flame being that one, right? That twin flame is where you're literally gonna walk through fire together. You know what I mean? You're gonna walk through fire together. Here's the problem a little bit with law of attraction. I understand the law of attraction, okay? And I understand that a lot. But what happens is we have to know that when something is negative, whether we have a negative thought or a negative experience, and, the law of attraction will say you created that. You are responsible for it. But, sometimes not. I understand the energy concept, right? And again, if you put out negative thoughts and things like this, yeah, you're definitely going to amplify that in your life, and you're only going to notice. You're not going to, if you feel lucky, if you say to yourself, I'm a lucky person, you're going to notice more luck around you, right? You're going to notice little things. Little things are going to feel special. But if you don't have that mindset, then everything feels negative. The whole world's ganging up on you. But when we have a negative experience, that may be a soul contract. There may be a lesson. You can't get away from the lesson. All right? You have to go through the lesson, because the lesson is what helps you develop that soul, your higher self, your spiritual intellect, okay? So we need those experiences. We sometimes, guys, we try to avoid pain, right? A lot of us don't want to experience pain, but it's only through the pain that you understand what it is to grow, what it is to learn, what it is you want, what it is you deserve. So the pain is absolutely necessary for our growth, okay? And the soul contract isn't all just positive, right? Isn't all just positive. I wish it was. The positive that we see in it is what we learn from it. And the positive of what we get is that we are stronger than we think. We are stronger than we know. And at the end of the day, we have to understand that those soul contracts help us with relationships, with opportunities, whether that's embracing an opportunity or walking away from an opportunity, from also experiencing the physical experience, the good, the bad, the happy, the healthy, the hurt, the pain, all of that every time, especially even with the pain, right? So with the pain, you peel away a layer, right? You peel away and it makes you really raw and it hurts. It's not fun. But as you heal from it, you will, without a doubt, have grown from it. Okay? That's the experience. Then that growth allows you to bring in happiness. That growth allows you to bring in positivity. And the hardest part is, you know, let's say you have friends and maybe they are responsible for their passing, right? And we can't understand that, right? You're saying, why not? Why? But we don't know their soul contract, right? On some level, there's something greater than us, and there's an understanding greater than us. And we just have to honor and accept others for their journey. And the more we do that for one another, the more we're going to see that we have more soul contracts than we could have ever have imagined. All right? You have more soul contracts than you could have ever imagined. And maybe that's around your career and your relationships and around your friendships, around your romance, right? All of it. So allow yourself to know that the soul contracts, they're already there. All right. They already come in. So I think that they already come in. All right. We already have a whole bunch. All right. And then it's like, what level do you get to? All right. They're already there and they're released to us as we progress. So the soul contracts are revealed as we progress. So does that mean you get to all of them before you pass? Probably not. Who knows? But if you don't, you'll do it again, and that's okay, right? But the goal is when you do it, right? When you do it, then the next ones open up and come in. The next ones open up and come in, okay? So anyhow, that is your coffee with Colby for today. Don't miss tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the psychic and mediumship reading. It's Pets Connect. I'm going to do it live on Zoom. I'm going to connect to your fur baby. So whether they're in the living or in spirit, I'm going to connect, and we always have just the most amazing time, and it really is so much fun. And it's incredible to see how much your animals communicate and how much they talk. It's overwhelming the things that they will say and bring forward. So if you can, come join me tomorrow night. Very, very excited about it. This Thursday, I have a special Colby Rebel show with Paul Selig. You guys will really love him. He's been on the show a couple times. But Paul is unbelievable because he channels. And so to just listen to what he has to say, and he has a new book. So we're going to be talking about his new book. Anyhow, you're welcome, everyone. And I'm glad a lot of you seem to really enjoy this talk. Please feel free to share it. Anyhow, as we say, everybody, shine your light and shine it bright. Bye, everyone.